We have a lot of talented youngsters in our community, and it's a matter of great pride that I'm going to introduce today Ananya Pampana, who just recently attended Y20 Summit in Argentina. This is a summit which is organized by G20 nations, and the purpose is to involve the youth also on various issues which these nations face. Let's welcome Ananya and talk about the various things what she did in Argentina and how this Y20 event has transformed her. Let's welcome Ananya. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
you're
very
most
humbled
welcome.
to be here.
Most welcome. Thank you. First of all, congratulations. You represented Canada at that Y20 summit. So tell us, what is this Y20 summit organized by the G20 nations?
So basically, the G20 is organized, the Y20 is actually a pillar for the G20, and they talk to the G20 about issues. And I was able to attend the Y20, and basically there they talk about the exact same issues that the G20 is discussing. And the purpose is basically to have us youth involved. So the delegates are from ages 18 to 30, and they write a policy recommendation, which they hand into the G20 for them to use.
Oh, that's wonderful. So the criteria for selection, how did you get selected? Because you were the only student from Canada who represented Canada in this summit. What was the process? And when you went over there, you said policy decisions. So are you given some kind of target, some kind of issue which you have to discuss and then come up with some policy? What is all this procedure?
So basically, I'm not actually a delegate. I'm part of another, it's called the Task Force Model G20.
Okay.
And through that, there was 19 of us that got selected internationally, and we were able to attend the conference. So at the Y20 itself, their goal is to basically talk about the 4 issues that the G20 has decided to talk about.
Okay.
So those 4 topics are education, sustainable development, entrepreneurship, and
One more.
there's one more.
Okay, that's fine. Anyways,
And
that's
the
fine.
workforce.
Okay.
So through that, the goal is basically to come to understanding of what the countries can do for each other and what companies can do that come as guests. And they kind of come together and they write a paper together.
Okay.
That they give. Yeah.
So what was the paper you were given to work on?
So we actually wrote the exact same type of paper, exact same structure and everything, and we gave that to the Y20.
Right.
And the Y20 has read over our paper, and now it's in the process of being given to the G20.
Okay. So that's what my question is, that what was what you wrote in that policy? Was it on education, or was it on sustainable development, or a workforce?
So it was actually on all 4 of those topics.
Okay. So you did all the 4 topics.
Yeah. So we were divided into groups within that category. And
Right.
I attended the seminar for the workforce and education.
Right.
But me, along with 2 other friends, we wrote part of the paper, which was the current state of global teens. So we kind of summed up the issues that teens are facing globally, for example, mental health, and of course education and poverty and things like that.
Okay. So like you talked about, mental health is a major challenge right now.
For sure.
Education also, then jobs, and then this all gets related to the environment and to the sustainable development and all that. So what were the issues which were discussed, and then you wrote this paper? What are the challenges as youngsters you said you are concerned about? So what were those?
I think one of the major things that globally as teens and youth are facing is mental health.
Right.
And social pressures. There are so many things that what seem like are out of our control these days, but it all boils down to what we do for ourselves.
Right.
And I feel that if we advocate within ourselves and we focus on ourselves, we can better and solve these issues that we face.
Oh, wonderful. So Y24 things you talked about, that policy paper is going to go to the G20. So it becomes a part of the G20 deliberations and talks, whatever they feel which can be implemented, they use that.
For sure, yes.
But because it is from the youth, so youth can better understand the issues which they face. So then it goes to the G20 nations delegates, and they talk about it, discuss it, and whatever they feel can be used, then they use that.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay. That's really great. So you did a lot of brainstorming, and then there was a lot of deliberations, and then you came up with this policy paper. So in Argentina, how many days did you spend over there? And then again, during these summits, people or youngsters from all other 20 nations were there. So what did you learn? How has that changed your perspective?
So I've actually been there for a little bit over 2 weeks. I only attended the conference for 2 days.
Right.
But just being there in Argentina, talking to high schoolers and talking to congressmen, I really grasped the culture aspect of Argentina,
Right.
and how the difference between North America and South America, or more Canada and Argentina.
Right.
I feel the main difference is here in US or Canada, we're very individualistic.
Right.
We have our own path, and we're doing our own thing. But I noticed that in Argentina, it's like a family. Everybody is helping each other constantly.
Right.
When you go down the street, almost like India, exactly. Like the villages, everything, it's exactly like India. It's
Okay.
everybody seems to know each other. They're very confident with the way they talk. They're proud, and the way they talk with each other, you feel that connection. You feel that togetherness in the community.
Right. So basically what you're saying is when we compare the developing countries with the developed nations, of course, the progress materially is much more in the developed countries. But when we talk about the culture, the family closeness, the close tie-ups, that is found in nations like Argentina, and which we claim to be developing or underdeveloped.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So now what happens? Now you have given your policy papers. After something is adopted, will G20 nations let you guys know that some of the things which you deliberated upon have been talked about, and then they're going to be a part of these policy papers?
So currently, Nova Academy, the group which we went through, is actually working on making sure our position paper is given to the G20.
Okay.
But we're not too sure with regards to if they're actually going to use it or not. But I think just having our paper out there and for them being able to read it itself is already a big step.
Right.
Because having our youth voices, especially from 13 to 18, that's a huge thing, because the community says that we are heard, but honestly, it's not very true. We're very underrepresented. I think it's really important just to have this first step out there.
So there were students from other nations also, and you interacted with them. And in Argentina, you found that cultural closeness and tie-ups. But what about the talks which you had with each other as students from different nations? What did you learn from that?
So I've had friends from Peru, I have friends from Taiwan, China, and just seeing the culture differences, we learned so much from each other just by being in the same room, talking, eating together.
Right.
For example, my friends in China, they're all preparing to go to university now. They're all studying. And my friends in Peru, I think just grasping the different lifestyles we have and how the community works in general was a big step for us, and it's a huge cultural difference. Yeah.
Wow. Ananya, it's a matter of great pride for us that you represented Canada, and we are sure from the deliberations and from the policy papers which you gave, something concrete will come out in the G20 meetings. Thank you very much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Uncle.